Okay, here's a drone video that we've been waiting to have a look at here. This is track 24, and this is kind of a special property out here. It's 10 acres in size, like the rest of the tracts um, at the White River, but track 24 sits basically at the end of the easement road system, very private, and you'll see in a moment. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous tract. The entire east side borders one of the prettiest uh, pasture, kind of a wooded pasture area that we've ever seen. And the fact that it's at the very end of the easement road means you've got zero through traffic on this property. It's got one of the prettiest sections of creek bed we've ever seen. And I believe this property has a road that's not shown on the map, a private road that runs along most of the east side, or at least a good part of the east side. So we were looking south just there. That meadow you saw was just off the property. Looking northwest, looking northerly, and zooming in a little bit to have a look at part of the White River. That mist you see seems to come off certain parts of the river in the mornings. We've seen that on the Gasconade River. We've seen that on a few different rivers. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so we're oriented westerly. The red truck is right down below us. That meadow you see at the bottom of the screen, that's going to be the neighbor's pasture or meadow that is not on the property. But it makes it obvious where the property is, which is pretty nice. Now we're oriented southerly. Perfect. So this property is going to be the highest on the north side. You've got some nice level areas there. As you go south, it starts to slope down, and you've got that gravel creek bed, which is going to be a wet weather creek for sure. But I believe there was water in that creek when we happened to walk down there. One of the few little creeks in the area that did have water in it, which was pretty cool. Heavily, heavily wooded. Mostly hardwood. Vast majority is hardwood. So red oak, white oak, hickory. The guys have seen pecan trees out here. They've seen black walnut trees out here. They've seen chestnut trees out here. And I believe that this has some sycamore trees as well. Those lighter colored green trees that you see, they kind of stick up by themselves. I believe those are sycamore trees. So sycamores love to be where there's some kind of water source that's not too deep because their roots really, really want to get down to the moist soil. So we'll find sycamore trees mostly in creek beds or the sides of creeks or rivers, or you'll find sycamores around ponds and pond banks because those roots really only thrive if they're getting down into the water. There we go, there's a creek bed. So ancient gravel and rock creek bed here. And I do believe, like I said, I believe that is the one that had water in it. It just crosses over about the southeastern part of the property. Very pretty. We've explored very little of the property. In fact, the only reason we happened to see that creek bed from the ground, I'm not even sure we got a video of it, was that we were looking at a different property, I believe. And we kind of got turned around, and when we checked where we were on track 24. So you'll find a beautiful mixture of timber. I mean, you've got humongous trees, you've got smaller trees, everything in between. Like all the other tracks out here, we haven't seen any signs of any recent logging, other than possibly for firewood, but very little of that. I mean, everything's been logged, but we didn't see any signs of any logging for quite a few years out here, which is pretty fantastic. We're a little over a mile east of the White River, which is an extremely popular river. This section is known for great fishing, including trout fishing, we've been told by several people. So that's pretty fantastic, really. The town of Batesville is about 10 or 15 miles southeast. Batesville is the county seat for Independence County, Arkansas, where this property is located. Batesville is fairly small, but I mean, it's got some nice hotels. It's got all the amenities you need. And I don't know if that's the same creek bed or a different creek bed. But again, look at the maps to see how this is situated. It just extremely private, sits so nicely. People always ask us if you guys could pick your favorite property, which would it be? And we generally don't have a favorite property, and I'm not sure we do out here either, but tract 24 is pretty darn nice. If we were going to keep one tract specifically to go and hunt and camp and maybe build a cabin, we would have no problem keeping tract 24. We would be very excited about that. So that meadow over to the right is going to be just east of the property. And there is a fence, I believe, between the meadow and the property, some type of barbed wire fence. Beautiful tract, it really is. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to us. You can give us a call, you can send us an email, but definitely first take your time and read the full listing page. We'll have at least one or two other videos. We'll have pictures, we'll have maps. You can really go through it, and the interactive map is nice to zoom in and out and kind of see the area and see the river and see the property. So beautiful tract. That's tract 24. It's about 10 acres in size. If you have any questions, just let us know.